The red suit was supposed to be a dream, but for Lewis Hamilton, it's becoming a brutal war for survival. With Ferrari splitting its DNA in two and a nuclear internal purge underway, 2026 isn't just a new season, it's the final, desperate gamble for an eighth world title. Is this a masterpiece in the making, or the most expensive crash in F1 history? The end of a forced relationship. The departure of Riccardo Adami from Lewis Hamilton's side is more than a mere staff rotation. It is Ferrari's ultimate confession that their initial experiment was a total disaster. Throughout 2025, we witnessed awkward communication, delayed instructions, and radio tension, peaking when Hamilton sarcastically asked if the team needed a tea break during a strategic hesitation in Miami. Adami, who previously found success with Sebastian Vettel, utterly failed to find the same frequency as the seven-time world champion. Ferrari finally surrendered, moving Adami to the Academy division, a polite way of admitting the chemistry never existed. Without absolute mutual trust, the dream of an eighth title in a scarlet car was nothing but a hollow mirage, drifting further away into the dusty Maranello horizon. Searching for Bono amidst the storm. Hamilton's deep longing for Peter Bonington, the mind reader he left behind at Mercedes, has become a gaping hole in his performance.
Martin Brundle sharply noted how much Hamilton missed the nuance only found in legendary partnerships like Michael Schumacher with Ross Brawn or Max Verstappen with GP Lambiase. At Ferrari, Hamilton felt like a stranger speaking a language his team couldn't comprehend. The anti-poaching clause preventing him from bringing his Mercedes crew became the iron bars of a cage for an entire year. Now, Ferrari is desperately hunting for a mystery figure capable of grounding Hamilton amidst the chaos of a race. The identity remains a secret, but the burden is immense. They must become the anchor for a legend's wavering mentality in the final pursuit of ultimate glory. The legend's brutal housecleaning. Hamilton is no longer just speaking through the throttle. He has begun a house cleaning that is both personal and professional. In Abu Dhabi, he sent a clear signal that unproductive old routines must be tossed into the dustbin of history. At age 41, Hamilton is acting like a man starting a new life, posting cryptic yet sharp messages on social media about letting go of things that no longer serve growth. This isn't just Instagram poetry, it is a declaration of war against inefficiency. He is restructuring his inner circle, his travel schedules, and how the team translates his needs on track. This is the move of an athlete aware that time is his greatest enemy.
Every second lost to logistical errors or miscommunication is another nail in his career's coffin, and Lewis refuses to let that happen. The scandal of the dual car development. The now confirmed rumors of Ferrari developing two distinct versions of their 2026 car have sent shockwaves through the paddock. Ralf Schumacher labeled this a recipe for disaster as it splits the team's resources into two opposing poles. Reportedly, one car is tailored for Charles Leclerc's aggressive style, while the other is built for Lewis Hamilton's precision. While rivals like McLaren stand united, Ferrari has chosen a path of technical division that is incredibly high risk. Splitting focus means dividing budgets and experts at a time when new regulations demand maximum efficiency. If this dualism experiment fails, Ferrari stands to lose not just the championship, but their very dignity as the most iconic team in F1. The question remains, can two kings truly inhabit one palace with two different crowns? Aero advantage and the path of revenge. Despite the internal chaos, Hamilton holds one powerful ace, significantly more aerodynamic testing time than Red Bull, McLaren, or Mercedes. Following a dismal 2025, where Ferrari slumped to fourth in the standings, they have been compensated with extra wind tunnel hours. For Hamilton, this is a golden chance to mold the 2026 car into his own DNA from the very first bolt.
It is the first time since his Mercedes prime that Hamilton has wielded such immense technical influence over a new car's evolution. He is no longer just driving what he is given. He is dictating the direction of the machine's soul. Behind the scenes in Maranello, engineers are working overtime to ensure this extra testing time is converted into pure, unadulterated dominance on the track once the new era begins. Fred Vasseur's mad gamble for 2026. Fred Vasseur is playing with fire, holding the fate of Ferrari in his hands. He has set a hyper-aggressive target, The car must be finished on January 22nd, a mere day before the official launch. His mileage-first, performance-second approach is a high-stakes gamble in an era of complex new engine regulations. Vasseur plans to bring a Spec A to Barcelona simply to validate reliability, leaving raw performance for later. For Hamilton, this is a thrilling yet terrifying uncertainty. Vasseur staked his entire reputation on bringing Hamilton to Italy, and now he must prove this last-minute management isn't just a sign of panic. If that car fails to fire up or suffers a technical collapse on day one, the narrative of Ferrari's rebirth will instantly transform into a tragic national disaster. Fighting destiny and the age barrier. Standing at the doorstep of his 40s, Lewis Hamilton is acutely aware that 2026 is the final stage for his beautiful dance.
He is no longer chasing points. He is chasing immortality to surpass Michael Schumacher once and for all. Every word he speaks now reflects the urgency of a man who sees the finish line of his career in sight. One day at a time, he mutters, a mantra to stay focused amidst the Ferrari political madness that could break anyone's spirit. He watches young rivals like Kimi Antonelli emerge at Mercedes, a reminder of himself 2 decades ago. Hamilton's motivation is no longer money or fame. It is proof that his genius hasn't faded with age. He wants to show that a veteran can still conquer modern technology if given the right tools and a voice that the team actually hears. Shattering tradition for the sovereign. The Ferrari we once knew, rigid with tradition and often ignoring driver input for the sake of their technical sovereignty, is currently being dismantled. Hamilton's arrival has forced the prancing horse to rip up its old manual and rewrite history. The structural mechanical changes, the race engineer overhaul, and the shift in design philosophy prove that Lewis's influence has seeped into the very roots of Maranello. The team now seems more willing to adapt for one man, a rarity not seen since the golden era of Schumacher. However, this radical shift brings heavy consequences for the morale of a staff long loyal to the old ways.
There is a hidden tension in the factory corridors, a toss-up between preserving a historic legacy or burning it all down for one final shot at global glory. Internal threats and the war of 2 stars. Amidst the massive overhaul for Hamilton, one figure will not stay silent: Charles Leclerc. As the Prince of Ferrari, Leclerc will certainly not surrender his throne easily to a veteran taking the spotlight. This internal conflict is a ticking time bomb, especially with the development of 2 different car versions. If one car proves significantly faster, jealousy and internal political sabotage could paralyze Ferrari from within. The F1 paddock is waiting with bated breath to see how Fred Vasseur manages the egos of these 2 top-tier drivers. History shows that Ferrari often collapses not because of external rivals, but because of civil wars inside their own garage. 2026 will be the ultimate test. Are they a unified racing team, or just a collection of competing factions fighting for power? Waiting for fate under the burning sun. The world holds its breath for the green light of the 2026 season. Will the sacrifices, the engineer changes, and the technical risks taken by Ferrari bear fruit? Or will this be the most painful failure in motorsport history? Hamilton stands on the precipice between eternal legend and profound regret. Fans worldwide will monitor every radio message, every pit stop strategy, and every overtake with surgical precision.
This pressure is nuclear, capable of creating incredible energy or destroying everything in an instant. In Maranello, engines are beginning to roar. The final bolts are being tightened, and history is preparing to be rewritten. Will this be the year the king reclaims his crown, or will Ferrari remain the place where big dreams come to die? Let the final battle for the record books begin.